All right. So, third, fourth, fifth time's the charm. Whatever. All right. So, a massive thunderstorm rolled through, and complete surprise to me because it had been perfectly sunny when I took the dog out, and it cut the power. So I did what any sensible person would do, and valiantly dumped my coffee and went back to bed. Because the fuck am I gonna do with a thunderstorm, right? Um, So anyway, that's what happened to the stream. We got, a good 25 minutes of chatting in before things went completely foobar. Uh, and I got a good long nap out of it. But now the internet's back up, so I figured I'd go ahead and explain. While trying to keep a kitten from nastily devouring my fingers. Because he doesn't ever stop, except when he's sleeping. And even then, I'm pretty sure he's dreaming about causing me pain. All right, so in addition to that, I want to go ahead and get this done. I sort of, but I put the kitten down and he starts attacking my feet. All right, so I had high hopes of this book. Yes, hey geek. Sorry to disappear on you. And obviously I couldn't tell you about what was happening. My phone is not handy, but it is not a smartphone. I think that's what they're called. It doesn't have internet access, so that's what happened there. All right, so I couldn't tell you what happened. I'll have to give you one of those phone numbers so that we can communicate in the future if something like that happens again. Anyway, this book, high hopes. But he's not that bright. I'm 85 pages in here. I put the book on hold until I got around to talking about this. 85 pages out of about 215, 216. So a little less than halfway through his actual content. And this guy is kind of a Luddite dumbass. Thinks that history no, I mean, he thinks that people were unified back in the day. Thinks that television and radio were a unifying force bringing people together. That America was cohesive. That the European Union arose during that time because of the cohesive nature of television and radio. And that the internet is breaking us apart. First off, rose-colored lenses. I mean, the dude is just plain wrong. The U.S. and Europe, there was no unity in those places back then, even though they had radio and television. There wasn't some magic there. They weren't all watching the same programming. It didn't create some sort of unity. There was no unity between a Klansman in South Carolina and a black trans woman in New York City. They weren't even watching the same TV or whatever. They weren't reading the same newspapers that he claims were a unifying force. I mean, affiliates played whatever the hell they wanted to play, even though they had the same name, ABC, NBC, whatever. And radio stations were entirely independent. Newspapers were produced in different cities for different populations. There was no unifying factor there. And it gets even worse than just the rose-colored lenses of thinking things were better in the past. Okay, he thinks people are becoming disunified, broken apart by modern media, because the yearning for boundaries, like he said, I mean, he literally says, the European Union was a product of the television environment. Open trade, one currency, free flow of people across boundaries, and the reduction of national identities to cuisine and soccer teams. The transition to digital media environment is making people less tolerant of this dissolution of boundaries. The yearning for boundaries emerges from a digital media environment that emphasizes distinction. Everything is discrete. No. Okay, it's creating greater unity, but analog media such as radio and television were continuous, like the sound on a vinyl record. Digital media, by contrast, are made up of many discrete samples. Likewise, digital networks break up our messages into tiny packets and reassemble them on the other end. Computer programs all boil down to a series of ones and zeros, on or off. This logic trickles up to the platforms and apps we use. Everything is a choice. From font size to the place on a snap to grid. It's either 12-point or 13-point, positioned here or there. Okay. This Luddite motherfucker thinks that the digital nature of modern media is forcing disunification on people. He's a dumbass. He thinks that there was greater unity in the past than there is today because of the nature of media. He's just plain wrong. I mean, I'm going to keep on reading this. It'll be difficult because I have trouble reading things with stupid premises. At least nonfiction, anyway. But my God, the guy's just a doofus. We are more unified now in many ways because of the internet. The disunity that he sees, that he feels is more visible, is more apparent, is a result not of the nature of modern media. It's a result of the same dissatisfaction and alienation we've felt for ages as a result of the commodification of every aspect of our lives. The search for these separate, unique identities is a result of the conformity being forced upon us. Remember, unity doesn't mean conformity. Conformity is coming from this commodification, not from the digital nature of the networks. Okay, and it's not even a new phenomenon, this commodification. I mean, see the exact same thing in the 50s and the beatniks and countercultures there. It even goes back older than that. Great Gatsby, written in 1925. Bartleby the Scrivener, written in 1853. Where you find capitalism, you find an effort to profit off of every aspect of human existence, and a desire for conformity to make everybody predictable. So, I mean, like I said, I'm going to keep on reading it. He has some good ideas, even if his ideas about the nature of unity and conformity in radio, television versus the internet is complete garbage. Anywho, now that I've said that, maybe I can feel comfortable about reading it again, because I wanted to make sure I said it and had my bookmark in the place where the stupid quote was. Shitty quote, not stupid. No ableism. Anywho, I gotta go walk the dog, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off now. Ain't that right, little man? No, I'm not gonna walk the cat. You would hate going for a walk in the rain. The dog actually kind of loves it. Alright, see you around.